Beautiful.
Beautiful, yes. Chicken
All right.
nuggets, bonbon chikaler, bonglong, chinglihu, chingbingling.
Hey, hey, be
Sheesh.
careful there. Careful there.
Hey, John Cena said it, so I'm all good.
Oh my God, you're gonna get us fucking canceled. You know that?
How am I gonna get canceled?
Just watch out with your gibberish. Don't let anything don't let anything cancelable slip out. Ah, you shithead.
That's a meme. And then there's supposed to be a fart noise coming out after doing. Hold up, I can find the noise. You go. Let's see if I can find it. But anyways, let's continue on.
All right.
Because I'm crazy right now.
Okay, so let's start with some news. All right.
All right.
So let's start off with this new announcement of DC Comics, the movies. Did you hear about the new movies that are going to be released by DC Comics within the next few years?
No.
No? Okay, so a few days ago, as of the date of recording, James Gunn, the new head of DC Comics, of the new DC Comics Cinematic Universe, he announced that him and his partner, who is co-CEO with him, he announced the slate of movies that are going to be releasing within the next few years. So on the new slate of DC movies is a new Superman reboot called Superman Legacy.
Wait, how can there be a legacy if they don't have that many Superman movies? How can he have a legacy already?
Well, let's count them. How many Superman movies are there? So there's the original one from 1978, and then there's the second one to that one, and then there was a third one, and then there was the Quest for Peace, and then we jumped into Superman Returns. That's number 5. Man of Steel, number 6. I guess you can count Batman v Superman as another one. And then if you want to count like the Justice League movies, that's like another 1 or 2. So you're looking at like maybe 9 movies with Superman. So, it's good legacy there. All right. Also, they're also going to be releasing another Batman reboot. This one has nothing to do with the Robert Pattinson one that came out last year. And so this one actually is going to be focused on Batman and Robin to be it's going to be focused on Batman and Robin, and it's going to be called Batman the Brave and the Bold, but it's not going to have anything to do with that old show on Cartoon Network. But this one's going to be mostly focused on Batman and his relationship with Robin, but this Robin is going to be Damian Wayne, his son.
Oh, so they're actually bringing his son where the woman of the lead of the assassins drugged Batman, has sex with him, tell him nothing about the child, raise the child to be a lead weapon of killing everyone. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, she just like, Batman, my darling, we have a son. Are you kidding me, right? You're lying. Oh no, he's yours, all right. Show son. Batman shocked, son not shocked.
Yep. That's what the focus of the new Batman reboot is going to be. It's going to be.
I'm sorry, but I really like Damian in the animated series.
Mm-hmm.
The Young Justice League, the Justice League, and all that stuff. I love Damian. He's just like the mini version of Batman.
Yeah, he's a huge asshole, just like Bruce Wayne.
Yes, he is, and I love it. He's a little miniature version.
Yep. So that's where that Batman is going to focus on, and it's actually going to be the first Batman movie to actually have Robin. Since the box office bomb Batman and Robin from 1997. Also on the slate of DC movies / TV shows, they're actually going to go back to the world of the Green Lantern. So they're going to be so Warner Brothers is going to be creating a TV series called The Lanterns, which is going to have Green Lanterns Hal Jordan and Al Stewart, and it's going to be kind of like a cop show. It's going to be like each episode, it's going to be like them like solving crimes. So it's almost like a cop show, and instead of a movie, it's just gonna be them, like I imagine going through Earth, because they're the lanterns that protect Earth, going through Earth and saving the day, sort of like 2 police officers using their Green Lantern powers.
Well, it kind of does make sense because the Green Lanterns are basically the galactic police force.
Exactly.
That goes around and making sure all the bad stuff doesn't happen to the planets.
And I actually kind of like this idea, instead of them doing just like say like a movie. It just gives them more room to tell different kinds of stories and to develop the characters in a different way. Because I feel like nowadays, a lot of like studios, they're going to want to create like TV shows out of their properties, because I feel like they're kind of copying what Disney is doing with Star Wars, because right now Star Wars is mostly focused on TV. You know, they got The Mandalorian, Boba Fett, Andor, the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. So I feel like that James Gunn and Warner Brothers kind of want to copy that formula. But I do like the idea of them being like, you know, like going on adventures as space police.
Okay, but do you don't have any more information? Because if you guys remember the original Green Lantern, to be a Green Lantern, the ring has to choose you, because the Green has his own intelligence, his own sense of mindset, his own like sentient soul. So the ring itself chooses its wielder. Yeah,
we'll have to see how the show handles that, because I have a feeling that the show is not going to give us like an origin story. It's just going to start off with either Hal Jordan and Al Stewart both being the Green Lanterns, or what they could probably do is they could probably have like one of them already be the Green Lantern, and probably it's Al Stewart who's probably going to be the new Lantern, and Hal Jordan has to teach him how to become a Green Lantern. So that can probably be like how they start off the series. But we don't really have that much information. It's only been announced so far. The only things that have been announced about these shows is what the show or the movie's going to be. They don't even have any actors attached to these properties. But James Gunn did say that whoever gets casted in the movies or in the TV shows, anytime that actor appears in anything, including animation, they're going to be played by the same actor.
So they're going to keep the same person.
Yeah, it's going to be consistent, because if you remember, the CW had like a lot of DC shows like The Flash, Green Arrow, and all those characters. But they were never connected to the movies. So what they're going to do now is everything is going to be connected to the movies. It's all going to be one cohesive universe.
Oh, so basically like Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah, kind of.
Because if you guys remember when the first movie of Kung Fu Panda came out, they have a TV show came out. And then at a certain point of the TV show of season 1 ended, or season 2, I forgot which point, where it finally the TV show stopped. The second movie of Kung Fu Panda came out. And then the TV show continued from that second movie. And then at a certain point, it stopped. Kung Fu Panda 3 came out. And then the TV series continue on. It's going to be just like that. Or just like How You Train Your Dragon. The movie came out. They had a TV show. The second movie came out. The second season of that TV show came out. And then the final one. And then what was I forgot what it's called. It's the new How You Train Your Dragons, where these bunch of kids look for existence of dragons, and they finally found images of pictures of Hiccup and his whole crew and his family in the wall. I forgot the name of it. Something Edge Finders or something. Something with Edge. Something with Edge.
I never kept up with any of the DreamWorks shows.
I did. So if they're gonna go to that lengths, just like how Kung Fu Panda and How You Train Dragons did it, then I'll be excited to watch the whole entire series, because I kept in touch with Kung Fu Panda when all the movies and TV shows came out. Same thing with How You Train Your Dragon. But I haven't kept up with the new Training Dragons, of the ones where they finally found the legacy of Hiccup and his family and his friends and all the dragons being painted on the wall. I only have seen the clips of it, but I haven't seen the actual show. So I was happy that it was continue on in the future after where Hiccup died and everyone died and the dragons still existing in the world.
Yeah, but yeah, so definitely it's going to be a cohesive universe. Also, they're going to do some other TV shows. They're also going to create a show called Paradise Lost, which is going to be centered around Wonder Woman's island, the Mascara. So it's going to be like a Game of Thrones style fantasy epic show. So that show is going to be focused on like the Amazonians and like I guess like all the like basically like their island and like maybe like the surrounding islands and like the different cultures there.
Ooh,
and so it's going to be like, you know, like Game of Thrones or like Lord of the Rings type show.
Okay, so I can already put some theories and some some plots. I think since they're gonna be focusing on the island Mascara, I probably butchered the name. I don't care.
The Mascara.
The Mascara. Okay. I have a feeling that it's gonna obviously it's gonna focus on Diana, but I think it's gonna focus on her when she is young. And then where the TV goes on, it's gonna show her training, her growing up, her going through her travel, her difficulties,
the politics of like the island and the kingdoms.
Everything. She's gonna go through everything, and then when she's finally at the age of being Wonder Woman, the movie's gonna come out.
Maybe, yeah. We know for sure that Batman and Superman are going to be the ones to get their first movies. A lot of these other projects are going to mostly be TV because there is one character that is going to get his movie aside from Batman and Superman.
Which one?
Swamp Thing.
Oh my god, yes, Swamp Thing. I love Swamp Thing. He's so caring. Wait, if they're going to have Swamp Thing, are they going to have John Constantine?
Maybe, I don't know. We know that Swamp Thing and Constantine kind of fall more into like the horror side of the DC comics, and I'm not surprised that James Gunn decided to take a horror direction because he started out making horror movies, and
well, it will make sense because if you have Swamp Thing, you gotta have Constantine because they hate each other but they work together.
Yeah, and also James Gunn wants to release a show based on Amanda Waller. So Amanda Waller from the Suicide Squad movies, like the lady who's in charge of the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, that crazy psychotic bee that wants to overrun the Justice League, but also fucks up every single time and asks for the Justice League's help every single time she fucks up. Like, I don't know why she's doing it, and she's fucking up even more.
Well, yeah, she's going to definitely get her own show, and apparently characters from the Peacemaker TV show, they're also going to appear on her show as well because, you know, she's very much connected to like Peacemaker and the Suicide Squad.
Yep, she is the reason why it existed. And also the Arrow or in the Flash or the Future Before Past or whatever the TV shows are called, they always have an Water and the Suicide Squad reference in their TV shows a lot.
And so there's also a few more DC movies from the old from the old DC studio movies that are still going to come out because so far we're still waiting on The Flash, which is going to come out this year.
But which version of The Flash?
Oh, it's going to be the Justice League one.
Okay, gotcha.
So his movie is going to basically reset the whole universe so that they can start over.
Oh, Flashpoint. The movie's gonna be end at I already called it. The movie's gonna end with a Flashpoint resetting everything.
Yeah, and then we're also gonna get Shazam 2, Shazam Fury of the Gods, but we'll see where that one ends up being, if it's gonna be in this new universe or if they're just gonna end it there. And then also the sequel to Aquaman is also going to be released. So I think those are like the last 3 of the old DC movies that we're going to see because they're already completed. So you might as well release them and, you know, get some money out of them.
Oh, wait. So when they reset the new DC, are they going to have the characters play as their original characters again, or they're gonna go for a new cast?
They're most likely gonna get a new cast because this new Superman one, Superman Legacy, I believe they're gonna start off with a young Superman, believe it or not. So I think it's gonna start off with him being, you know, kind of like Superboy age, and then we're probably gonna see him, you know, grow into being Superman. And then Batman, I don't know how they're going to handle Batman because Batman already has to be an adult in order for him to have Damian Wayne and for him to be Robin.
I think they're going to do a time skip.
Maybe.
Like in the beginning of the movie, they're going to show a time skip of him training in the mountains, training to be a warrior during his young age, from getting his parents killed, going through depression, him traveling the world.
But who knows if they're actually going to show Batman's parents dying, because I have a feeling that a lot of these movies and TV shows, they're going to start like with the heroes already being heroes, don't you think?
Yeah, that's also one thing. Just break the middleman, just break their origin and just bring them up
because
being adults.
Because like how many, like, you know, people already know like these characters' origins. Like one thing that I did find kind of enjoyable about like the new Spider-Man trilogy is that they didn't show us his origin again. he already had his powers when he met up with Tony Stark.
Yes, actually, yeah.
So DC is making some big radical changes, and a lot of the old fans, the ones who were fans of like the Man of Steel and the Justice League movies, they're pissed.
Of course they are. I had a feeling you're gonna mention them being pissed.
A lot of them don't like the direction that they're gonna go, but unfortunately, what happens is like, this is the reason why DC is deciding to do this. It's all because of business, because they really fumbled the ball a lot with how they handled the movies, and a lot of the movies, despite the movies having its fans, it didn't generate like a lot of like box office or a lot of sales like the way that Marvel did, because Marvel really blew them out of the water constantly. Like, and that franchise, like those movies constantly were taking L's. Even though they had successes like the Wonder Woman movie or the Aquaman movie, they just kept taking like a lot of L's. But there's also going to be a lot of movies coming out that aren't part of this DC connected universe. Because remember that Batman movie that came out last year?
Yes.
So that one's going to get a sequel in 2025.
Oh, nice.
But that one's not going to be connected to this new DC universe. That's going to be like its own thing. And the Joker, the one that came out in 2019, that one is also getting its sequel. I think maybe this year or next year it's going to get its sequel.
Oh, baby.
And do you know who is rumored to play Harley Quinn in that second Joker movie?
I don't remember her name.
Lady Gaga.
There it is, Lady Gaga.
The pop singer Lady Gaga is rumored to be playing Harley Quinn in this new
a lot of
Joker movie.
I heard a lot of people not wanting that to happen.
Well, it has nothing has been confirmed, but that's the theory of a lot of people. But also, I wonder. One thing that I didn't like about the Joker movie, the first one, is that it basically just copied this other movie that came out in the 80s called The King of Comedy. So if you watch that movie and you watch that new Joker movie, you can tell that the Joker movie copied a lot of scenes from that movie. So I'm just wondering, what other Martin Scorsese movie are they going to copy? Are they going to copy Goodfellas next? Are they going to copy The Aviator or like Gangs of New York? Who knows? But any last thoughts on the new DC movies that are slated to come out?
I'm excited to see what will they change. I'm excited to see how they're gonna do it. I'm excited to see the different direction they're gonna go. Mm-hmm. But of course, every direction they take, there's gonna be someone always bitching about it. So
true. You're never not gonna have that.
No.
But speaking of that, did you hear about like this big problem that Hollywood has with like some directors not liking comic book movies?
Why?
So this has been like a conversation that's been going on for like a while now. So are you familiar with Martin Scorsese?
A little bit. Refresh.
Martin Scorsese is the director of Goodfellas.
Ah, yes. Now, gotcha.
Yeah. So he's an Oscar-winning director. He's a very respected director, but in an interview a few years ago when he was releasing his movie The Irishman, a reporter asked him his opinion on Marvel movies, and he said that he didn't enjoy Marvel movies, and he compared them to theme park rides.
Ha!
And a lot of people got angry at him, but a lot of people also agreed with him, because also at the time, Marvel movies, even though Endgame had come out, a lot of Marvel movies were not getting good reviews as well. So a lot of people agreed with him. Also, Quentin Tarantino, the director of Kill Bill, he was asked on a podcast recently what he feels about comic book movies, and he said that if he were younger, he would probably love comic book movies. But he now he's in his 60s. He doesn't really care about comic book or comic book characters anymore. And recently, Seth Rogen, the actor who's going to be playing Donkey Kong in the new Mario Brothers movie, he said that he doesn't enjoy Marvel movies because they're meant more for kids, and because he's an adult and he doesn't have kids himself, he's not a father. He's not really interested in comic book movies. So I kind of want to get your feelings. I kind of want to get your opinions on how do what am I trying to say? I kind of want to get your opinions on like their comments. Do you think like do you agree with them? Do you think that they have like a point? What do you think?
Well, to me, I love like the heroes. I like them fighting and all that, and the things they do to make sure that their place is safe and make sure they're out in prison or whatever they do.
Yeah,
it's just their comments is valid. They can have their own opinions of what they feel at the current moment. Like, of course, these movies are created for the kids, and adults watch the movies as well because of the kids. But some adults who have lived in the year of the comic books being created, the Spider-Man, Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, all the comics being created at the time.
Yeah.
There are some adults out there that go and watch them because they're long time fans.
Yeah.
And they want to see their favorite heroes in the big screen, which I 100% agree with. Just going to watch it and having fun with it. And with the comic, for the response of Marvel movies being like a roller coaster. Yeah. Just you start having fun and in the end it's just dead. It makes sense. I also feel that some way on some movies, but not all of them. Yeah. Because it's just a thrill. That's all it is. It's just a thrill. Just a movie of thrill. Just heroes fighting other villains and save the day. Done deal.
I also agree with what you say, and I kind of want to go back to what you said about, you know, like people like growing up with these characters like Iron Man, Spider-Man. One thing that I feel that maybe somebody like Quentin Tarantino is kind of missing is that he didn't grow up with like, you know, the good superhero movies because he grew up in the 60s and the 70s, so there weren't comic book movies. Like comic books just existed in comic books. No, like barely any TV, barely any movies, or no movies at all. And so we were fortunate to grow up with like some really good comic book media. We grew up with like Batman the Animated Series, the Spider-Man movies from the early 2000s, the Spectacular Spider-Man. So we grew up with actually good. Oh shit! We actually grew up with some good stuff that were based on comic books. Yep. So I feel like maybe if they grew up with like some actually good comic book stuff, they would have more of an appreciation for it, because I feel like they're they're not seeing like the artistic value of these movies, because some of these movies are so well made. Not every single comic book movie is well made though, but the ones that are good, they're hella good. Like The Dark Knight, that's like one of my favorite movies of all time. Like I can watch The Dark Knight like any day of the week. I love it so much. But anyways, what were you gonna say?
To be honest, I forgot.
All right.
I just got lost in the moment.
Yeah, but true. Like I feel like if these older directors and older actors, if they grew up, you know, seeing like the good shit, they would have more of an appreciation. But I get it. I get where they come from. But you know, these things come in waves. You know, sooner or later, comic books are not going to be like the most popular thing in movies. Like I feel like maybe not comic books, video games are probably going to take away some of comic books' popularity, because
and I already know there's already been talks about making a God of War movies.
Yeah, God of War. The new Last of Us HBO show has come out. I'm definitely gonna have to check that one out in the coming weeks. I'm hearing good things about it. There's also been some successes too. Uncharted was a financial success. The two Sonic movies were a success. Yes. We'll have to wait and see with this new Mario movie, you know, because video game movies might take away the thunder of comic book movies. Yeah. We might be entering in the era of the video game movie instead of the comic book movie.
I think I already said this once in one of our past podcasts, because I remember us already talking about this, about video game movies. But the one character I want to see in the movies is Samus.
Yeah, Samus. I would love a Legend of Zelda movie, to be honest.
The only reason why I want Samus is because one of the games, if I remember correctly, was on the Wii U with the nunchucks. There was a Samus game that had very good cutscenes. Yeah, it's very good cutscenes.
The Metroid games are very cinematic.
Yes. if they make the movies just like that, I'll be 100% take my money.
It could work. The Metroid universe has a lot of movie influences, because like Ripley, and like all the Metroids, like all of those are like little references to the movies, to the Alien franchise. And so if they can make like a Metroid movie, kind of like the way that they used to make the Aliens movies, I feel like that could work really well.
Well, of course, if they're gonna make a Metroid movie, they should start off with her losing her parents by Ridley, her gaining abilities by the bird creatures. They gave her ability to be able to turn into a ball and go everywhere, and then going into the military, and then after fighting with her so-called father figure, she becomes a bounty hunter and becomes Samus.
Yeah, boy. Anyways, let's move on to our next news topic. So this one's kind of a sad one, or kind of a depressing one. So the co-creator of Rick and Morty, Justin Roiland, has been fired from Adult Swim due to his charges and allegations of domestic abuse. So Justin Roiland was charged with domestic abuse and false imprisonment, and because of this, Adult Swim, the channel, has decided to cut ties with him, and they're going to continue to release Rick and Morty. From what they said on Twitter, Adult Swim, the artists and the crew are still working hard on season 7, but yeah, so Adult Swim is no longer going to work with Justin Roiland, and so what that means is that he is no longer going to voice the characters, and he's no longer going to be a producer on the show. Any thoughts on that situation?
Honestly, I only heard bits and pieces of what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
You, of course, have the most intelligent mind. You're like the Rick right now.
Whoa,
and I'm the Morty, the character that he's no longer going to be.
Jeez, Rick.
Jeez,
Rick.
Yeah, I'm gonna...
Morty, we gotta bust out of prison, Morty.
So, yeah, when I heard about what happened, I was like, what? Wait, what?
Yeah.
Falsely imprisoned, being accused of sexual violence.
Domestic violence.
Domestic violence? Like, is this real? Do they have actual proof of this actually happening? So
they do have some proof of Justin Roiland, like through social media and through text messages. He has been very creepy with female fans and some fans who are underage. And then these charges, I believe his girlfriend accused him of being abusive towards her, and so that's like the court case. Like, I don't want to say that so here's the thing. So he's being charged right now. He's in court right now facing these accusations. So most likely a lot of the evidence is leaning towards him actually doing it and him actually being guilty of it. And also there have been some artists who've worked on Rick and Morty where they say that he has created something of a toxic work environment where he has been somewhat abusive to his staff on Rick and Morty. And so this is kind of like so these are like the allegations that are being brought against him. I'm not too surprised that these allegations have been brought against him, because oftentimes in Hollywood, when you get like a person who becomes super rich and super successful and super powerful, like almost overnight, like the success gets to their head. Because Justin Roiland, he got really popular because of Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty was like the adult comedy show of that generation. So it became sort of like the new Family Guy, the new Simpsons. Everybody loved, like when it first came out, like those first 3 seasons, everybody fucking loved Rick and Morty. Like, remember like the whole Szechuan sauce?
Szechuan sauce. I'm gonna get them who want a Szechuan sauce. And it doesn't revolve me avenging my family's murder. It's all about the Szechuan sauce.
Yeah, exactly. And like all the memes and like all the pranks
Pickle
people
Rick!
did.
I hate that meme.
And Pickle Rick too. Like, people love that shit. But, I don't know how you feel about the show now. Like, I stopped watching the show around like season 3. Like I kind of dropped out of it, so I've seen nothing of season 4, season 5, season 6.
You're missing a lot of brother. Dinosaurs came back. Oh, spoilers.
Well, I actually did see that episode, and I actually did enjoy that episode. Actually, season 6 is actually not that bad now that I think of it. Of the few episodes and clips that I've seen, season 6 is actually not that bad. I'm willing to go back and rewatch the seasons that I missed in order to prepare myself for season 7.
Oh, so you haven't seen Evil Morty returning, and you haven't seen Rick regaining somewhat of a equal balanced relationship with Morty.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah,
Ooh.
I haven't really seen any of that stuff.
Ooh.
Because I just dropped out of the show, because one thing that made me not like the show anymore is that I felt that the show got way too repetitive because of its humor. Because a lot of the humor, oftentimes a lot of the jokes was just Justin Roiland going like stuttering. He was like, he couldn't get through a line without stuttering, and that was like the whole joke, basically. And I felt like the writing got weaker after season 3.
Oh no, it got better in season 4. They actually like sat down and actually got everything like lined up.
Maybe, but I just feel like it's kind of going into like that kind of like Simpsons, Family Guy territory, where it's been on for so long that, you know, that they're starting to lose, like they don't have any more fresh ideas.
I think they made a joke about that in one of the seasons.
Yeah, but it happens. Even something like South Park, even though people fucking love South Park now is kind of falling into that rut where it's not as funny as it used to be. But we'll have to wait and see. The big elephant in the room is, how are they going to handle Rick and Morty? Because Rick and Morty are both voiced by Justin Roiland. So one of the theories that a lot of people have is that he's going to be replaced by like an impressionist, like someone who's like on YouTube or something who does impressions. They'll probably get somebody off of YouTube, and they'll probably be the new Rick and Morty.
Damn.
Which has actually happened recently. Like, do you know that they replaced the voice of Cleveland Brown from Family Guy?
Yes, I have noticed a little bit of a tune, but it still sounds like Cleveland.
Yeah, it's a good impression.
Yeah, it's a very good impression of Cleveland.
But it doesn't sound exactly the same, because he used to be voiced by one of the writers, Mike Henry. But now I guess the producers felt that nowadays it's not really. It's not really good to have like a black character be voiced by a white guy, so they've decided to hire an actual person of color to voice Cleveland Brown, and he's a good impressionist because he really does that voice very well. Also, do you know that last Hotel Transylvania movie?
Which the one where they became human?
Yes, that one. So you know that Dracula was originally played by Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
So Adam Sandler didn't return for the 4th movie. They hired an
impressionist.
Yeah, they hired an impressionist to do his voice, and I believe the guy was famous off of YouTube. So that's where they're probably going to have to find the new Rick and Morty.
I have noticed, like, in the next Sonic movie, the second one, there were YouTubers in that movie. If you notice. Have you noticed that at all?
No, I don't follow too many YouTubers.
So in the scene, in the beach scene where they're having the beach ball battle, where I forgot the person's name, and the groom and the wife fighting each other in the groom. In the groom's side, you can see a couple of YouTubers. One of them is Princeton Plays Minecraft.
All right.
He is one of the YouTubers that plays Minecraft, and he's in that movie.
All right.
Princeton Danger is in Sonic 2, and I saw that.
I don't know who that is.
He is a Minecraft YouTuber that plays games.
Well, of course, I don't follow Minecraft YouTubers.
Well, the only reason I know it because I used to follow a lot of Minecraft players during my childhood. And I don't know more. I do follow still some because they kept a long impression image of me, and I kept following them because they were funny and I liked them, regardless of what game they play. So the only reason why I knew that YouTuber because I know him from the past.
Right.
And when I saw him in that movie, I was like, yo, that's Princeton Danger from Minecraft, from YouTube. What the hell?
They should have got Christian released from prison and put him in the movie instead.
God damn, stop. You just love talking about him. All right, anyways, let's continue on.
Go, Sonichu. Go out and zap to the extreme. I will. Thank you, Father. Settle down, guys. Settle down, guys. You're being knuckleheads.
He talks about Christians so much that I know most of the lore.
I'm gonna turn myself into Christian Sonichu.
Stop! Don't curse.
Ready to go, dude.
All right, let's continue on. Let's continue on before we go to the mayhem of darkness.
Family Guy.
Kill me already.
Do you want me to serve you some Fanta?
No. No.
Want me to serve you some Fanta?
Sure.
No. Oh no! Don't say that.
I know what it is.
You know what it is?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, we can move on. All right.
Disgusting.
Settle down, guys. You're being knuckleheads.
All right, we can continue on. We've already talked about this topic way too long.
All right. Okay. So that's it for the news. Let's go into our main feature attraction, the anime.
I already forgot the name. Because I'm terrible with names.
Sorry.
I'm terrible with many things. Hold up. Let me see. What was the name again? Habada. What's it called?
So the name of the anime that we're watching today is Nagasarete Airantou.
There it is.
So this is an anime from 2007.
Yes, it is.
That is based on the manga that is written by Takashi Fujishiro. Ooh, that's a nice name, Takashi Fujishiro.
It's a good name.
And it's actually published by Square Enix. Very nice. Very nice. It's a shonen. Well, the demographic is shonen, but it's also a harem anime. Could you sort of describe what this anime / manga is about?
So basically, we follow this character called Ito, and he. Iko. Sorry. Go. You guys can see my face, but I'm giving the face of what the hell? What the hell?
That's all they say in that fucking show.
Ito,
darling. That's Urusei Yatsura, not this shite.
No, the what's her name?
Do you think that's maybe a reference? Because Yatsura,
Rin, the character Rin says like darling.
Oh, that might be a reference because that show Yatsurai that basically created this whole genre of like girls lusting over guys. But anyways, go ahead.
Okay, so back what I was saying. So this story follows Ito in his journey of leaving his father because of some bullshit happening.
Dad, why can't you accept me, Dad?
Okay, so the premise of this story is Ito runs away after fighting with his father and boards a ship where he is thrown overboard and wakes up on an island populated with only girls in it, basically. Giggity. So this guy literally had a fight with his father because his father says it's impossible for you to master this sword techniques because he's a swordsman, apparently. And he ran away because he wants to prove his...
I want to be a dancer. Dad. Sorry. Okay, I'll shut the fuck up now. I'll shut the fuck up.
Guys, my brain. You see, if you have an image of my brain cells, you will see going... Alright, so anyways, so after having a fight with his father, because his father's saying it's absolutely impossible for you to do this because he's so weak in the family, that he ran away saying that he will prove him wrong, and he runs away, boards a ship to go train somewhere, but accidentally got overboard, and the first image literally is him falling over over the boat, people saying, all right, he's not here. All right, let's toss this out just in case. farewell, who cares? And then he pops up from the ocean saying, wait, I'm right here, don't leave. Gets hit by the life raft and then drowns.
Is this kid such a loser that they wouldn't like even put in any effort to find him?
Oh my god, yes, honestly, yes, it kind of feels like it. And then afterwards, we go to the next scene of the island filled with women, but at this point, we don't know about that. Mm-hmm. So at this point, we meet one of the main second protagonists of the show,
Pazuzu.
Did you just say Pazuzu?
Well, her name is Zuzu, but if you ever seen the Exorcist movie, the demon in that movie is named Pazuzu. So every time I saw her name in the subtitles, I was like, "Your mother sucks cocks in hell."
So yeah, the second protagonist is Zuzu. She's the main character that stays with Ito for the rest of his stay of the island. They sleep together. They eat together. They sleep together? Not in that way. Separate
giggity,
cushions.
Giggity.
Oh my god, they sleep
giggity.
They sit in two different futons, sleep in two different futons, eat together, bathe separately because and this island is all filled with women and they're comfortable of bathing together like women do.
And everything's very old fashioned.
Yes. So this whole island is all before World War II. Before World War II happened.
So they never got to experience anime or weebs or otakus.
That's what the time zone is, but the time zone that Ito came from is after World War II, after we get manga, game consoles, movies,
internet.
TV, internet, all of that stuff.
Yeah, boy.
And then when we get to the island, you see everything old-fashioned, all sliding doors, all sitting down properly, eating food from a tray, chopsticks, eating.
Growing their own food, catching their own food.
Yeah, basically everything doing yourself. And when Ito finally got assured into the island, Suzu was the first one that found him and brought her to the main village. Mm-hmm. And that's when we see all of the women there. And there's some women that actually look like guys, but are actually women, but they actually look like guys. It's so weird. You see a bunch of variation of women, like cute small women, cute older women, but they're small, big tough women that doesn't look like very appealing. Some women that brujas. Some women that are skinny but beautiful. Some are skinny and not that beautiful but cute. There's a lot of different genres in this.
Scientists. One scientist.
Yeah, one scientist. But mostly it's more ninjas, samurai swordsmen, carpenters, farmers, and houseworking, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So in this island, we get introduced of the whole island. Ito realizing he's in an island of women, and he always have the nosebleeds.
Oh my god, I fucking hated that.
The old-fashioned style of nosebleeds. Do you remember when that was a popular thing back in the day?
That was a popular thing back in like the 80s, like with Master Roshi and shit.
Yes.
Like nowadays you don't see that much on animes because now it's really cliched. Like I low-key kind of hate it when newer anime do that shit. Cause like, come on guys. Really? You're doing this shit still?
Well, anyways, they still do it, but they tone it down. They're not like shooting out blood. It's now just a single blood coming out.
But it's still fucking cliched. I don't really like that. It's not my thing.
Yeah, I get it. But
I feel like you can make a joke out of it because it feels like you're repeating the same joke over and over again.
Yeah, basically, that's what it is, honestly. Yeah. But anyway, he goes through a whole lot of shit of everyone wants to marry him because the big reveal is that he's the only man on the island.
The only man.
And all of them wants to have children.
Yeah.
And they're thirsty as fuck.
Oh, yeah. Bow chicka wow wow.
Stop it.
Wow wow.
My God. And
it's a good premise.
Yes, it's a good premise of the show. And this whole time, but this island is not like any typical island. Like, you guys know how So you guys know how our food, vegetables, animals all look like? They all look pretty normal, right? But these inhabitants, animals, fruits, veggies, mushrooms, whatever you want to call them, there's a big difference. A very big difference. They're big. And some are sentient.
Oh yeah. That was a surprise.
Yeah, they're sentient. Like the animals, they can talk to you. Bears, they can talk to you. Birds, you can talk to you. Insects, they can talk to you. Basically, any animal that you kill to eat, they can talk to you.
Like a lot of the girls have like their own animal companions.
Yes, they do.
But also, I do want to mention about the animals is like I kind of like the way that they're designed because they're designed very cartoony. They don't look like real animals. They almost look like stuffed animals, almost like the way like a stuffed animal would be designed.
Yes.
Because I mentioned that the chickens kind of reminded me of Squishmallows. If you guys know those stuffed animals.
Ah, yes, the ones they use for wool.
Yeah, the big Squishmallows that that like a lot of people like to a lot of people use Squishmallows as pillows.
Yes. So after Ito sees that he's in an island of not of his own because the vegetables are huge, the mushrooms are sentient because they're fake mushrooms that eat humans but spit them out. So he has his attempt of trying to leave the island.
Ah, yes. Can you explain why it's difficult for him to leave the island?
So when Ito tries to get off of the island for the first time, he gets introduced by the whirlpools, which keeps anyone who's trying to leave the island in. So when you go in the whirlpool, you get spit right back out to the shore. And if you do pass the whirlpool, you gotta deal with the larger whirlpools, which destroys the ship.
Yep.
Even a wooden ship, like their technology is still at the wooden stage.
Yeah, they don't have any like advanced technology.
Yep. So if the whirlpool is big enough to destroy a big ship. So if they took a big ship, reinforced it as best as they could, and sailed through the whirlpools, it's gonna be destroyed because it's so strong that it will make the boat go around until it breaks.
Yeah,
and he tries multiple times, and he actually gave up at some point. But the elder keeps saying it's absolutely impossible, which triggers Ito because he hates that because his father always says it's absolutely impossible for you to suppress it, and he hates that word so much that he just full charge at it until he gives up himself.
Yeah. So let's talk about certain episodes. Let's talk about sort of like the life on the island. So
life on the island is Ito after him actually set it in that, oh crap, I'm stuck in this island now. All right, I had to live now.
Yeah.
And he starts living with Zuzu, which she lives alone because both her parents are dead.
Yep.
And she's always lonely, so she's like, okay, I'll have a winner because she was the most innocent of them all. Because she didn't have no ill intent, no sexual drive to go get Ito's the baby maker. But the other girls, especially one that is Suzu's rival, let me get her name out, Akane. Akane is a shrine maiden. And she and Zuzu has a rivalry. And when she found out that Zuzu was hosting Ito to stay at his home, she took the time to try to kidnap him so she can get married and have children and have some sexy time.
Oh my god.
So
why you gotta make it weird, man?
Hey, this show makes it weird. I'm just helping it. So
one thing I do want to say about that character, Akane, I like the jokes that they make. Well, the comedy, the physical comedy that they do with her, because like she's always getting like launched out of the scene or hit with something really hard, and like it's very slapstick. She's
the punching bag of all the jokes.
She's kind of, and she also kind of acts a little bit like Daffy Duck, where she's like very jealous and very ambitious, but she never gets what she wants. So I always kept calling her the Daffy Duck girl.
Yeah.
All right, but continue on.
So after being kidnapped, the island held a tournament to hide and seek, catch your groom, which because all the girls stopped doing their jobs.
Yeah.
and then tried to lust over Ito. So the elder of the island took a chance of, all right, if you catch him, even touch him for one little second or touch his clothing for like a barely touch, you can have him. So the whole episode was dedicated of all the girls of the island trying to find him. And a girl did win, was Suzu. But Suzu didn't want him because she didn't have no interest in him as a man of giving children. So it was taken care of. Zuzu's just basically saying, anyone can go for Ito, I don't care. And everyone's like, yes, we still have a chance, but we can't claim him as our own, so we have to make him love us and let him come to us, and so we can have a family and get together. And then that's when it starts, all the chain reaction of the girls trying to appeal to Ito in any way.
And this is where the show kind of loses me for a bit.
Yeah, so during this whole time, there is Ito trying to get used to the island, trying to pick up vegetables, trying to do things, because in his own world, he keeps saying that, oh, I'm a master of plotting holes. Oh, I'm a master of pulling out potatoes. I'm a master of cutting things up. And in reality, when he tried to pick up a bundle, he couldn't pick it up.
Yeah.
And then when one of the girls does it, pop comes out giant ass rock looking boulders.
Pop goes the weasel.
These potatoes look like boulders, like big ass boulders. These girls are extremely strong, and the character, they look like they're very skinny, pretty, petite, but no, they are strong as hell. You can see them carrying big ass radishes, big strawberries, big blueberries, big watermelons, big potatoes, and Ito is just here like, what the, and then he tries to do something else, shear sheep. But the sheep are weird looking creatures. He doesn't know where they're sheared.
Yeah.
So this whole time he's failing after another, trying to carry buckets of water he cannot carry because apparently the wood material is too heavy for him to carry.
Yeah.
Because he's in the modernization world where we get a cup of water. We don't go for the wells and pick up our own water every day. He's not used to this kind of stuff. So throughout the whole episodes along the way shows Ito working up his strength, trying to do everything. And at certain points, you see him actually improving. Like he's able to carry some things a little bit. He's able to carry one or two things here and there. He's able to carry certain things, but still drop some. And then in the end, like almost in the end of the episodes, he shows him actually able to carry everything without dropping them no more. He finally gained the strength to be able to do daily lives. And all the girls are like, oh, look at Ito. He's not able to do it. Oh, it makes him look so handsome. He's getting stronger. And it's like lusting over and saying, oh, Ito, I want him, and all of that. Yeah. So that's basically what Ito has been dealing with. Yeah. But the other girls has been trying to get him, giving him into different situations to try to get Ito's attention and love.
But let me ask you this about like these like first few episodes. One thing that kind of did bother me is like after they have like the few episodes to sort of set up the island, I started to feel like the show didn't know exactly where to go. Because you did mention how like Ito, he slowly becomes good at like, living on this island and stuff. But, like the main conflict with him, like, running away from his dad is because his dad, said that he wasn't good enough. And so I sort of felt like they could have probably used these like these moments to sort of like grow his character a little bit, make him feel more not feel more, but make him learn to be more capable and find ways of him to mature and become more productive. But I felt like the way that the show plays it is like it doesn't have like a goal, or it doesn't have like a way that it's going to like didn't you feel like the show really didn't know it felt like the show was more focused on like slice of life antics than actually like telling a story. Do you feel that?
But the whole reason why it feels like they don't have a direction is because they were following the manga.
Yeah.
They were following the manga for the first couple of episodes and didn't really have a direction. They were just basically trying to get attention. Because at the time, that's where the big three was out: One Piece, Dragon Ball, and Bleach. So they were trying
One Piece, Naruto, and Bleach.
Did I not say Naruto?
No, you said Dragon Ball.
Sorry, wrong one.
Dragon Ball was off the air during that time.
Yeah, sorry. So they were trying to stand out with all the tropes. So that's why a couple of episodes they had like random adventures, random shit happening, random things they're doing, and yada yada yada.
But what it also feels like is that they focus too much on like doing like sort of slice of life type type episodes with like some jokes sprinkled in. But at the same time, I think the reason why I say like the big three were very popular is because each one had like a very, it had like a story with goals. The Straw Hats, Luffy and the Straw Hats wanted to find the One Piece. Naruto wanted to become the best Hokage. But in this one, we do get some backstory with Iko, but we don't really understand what he's trying to accomplish, which I feel like in these first few episodes, that's what they should set up. They should set up what his conflict is and what his goals are. And that's one thing that I feel like that the show didn't do well.
Yeah, it didn't really show his goals at all. But they did show a goal like in the middle of the anime of him wanting to prove that his father was wrong. But that sometimes
it's not the best way to do it, because sometimes because oftentimes it's better not to spend too much time, like when you're telling a story like in movies or in TV, it's usually not good to like spend too much time setting up every single thing, like in terms of like say world building or lore. It's better to start off with like a good story with some good characters, and then slowly start introducing newer things in terms of like lore and like world building and stuff, because that's a trap that you can fall into when making these types of shows.
Yeah, which I 100% agree to it. But to me, I really loved the anime when I first saw it. I really loved it.
Yeah.
And we'll rewatch.
There's a lot to like, though. That's the thing.
Yeah. And when I was rewatching, I went back as a child when I first watched it, when I was in middle school. I was like, wow, this show is old to me now. And rewatching it again is like remembering old past and remembering how bad it was, but still good to me.
Yeah, definitely, because I definitely have that sort of feeling when I rewatch something like, say, like Yu Yu Hakusho, or even like, say, like the first few seasons of Naruto. Like I get, like it brings me back to like a time that was very nostalgic for me, like my elementary and my middle school years. Yeah, I can definitely see why you have love for the show. One thing that I do, and speaking of like nostalgia, I like the designs of the show, because the designs are very like early 2000s anime, like this kind of style that you don't see anymore.
Yeah. I think the main reason why I add this to our next thing to watch is because of the old animation.
Yeah.
Because all the animes that I recommended are from the new animations that we're comfortable with. So I added an anime that had the old animation in it.
Yeah. Yeah, because like the hairstyles, you don't really see anime characters drawn with those hairstyles anymore, like the big eyes. Yeah, a lot of characters don't really have like those big like those big glassy eyes like they used to have.
Oh, some new anime does, but not anymore.
But not the way that they did it like in this one, because this show reminded me a lot of like, say, like Yu-Gi-Oh and like Beyblade.
Oh, those ones,
like that kind of style of art.
It should have been me.
But anyways, let's continue on with the story of the anime. So tell us the more adventures of Iko and all of his friends.
So throughout this whole time, we basically focus Ito and Zuzu, but we get a little sprinkles of Akane, and then new characters Machio, Rin, Toika, Yukino, and Shakarage. We get a lot of sprinkles of these these were like the main characters we focus on. The other girls of the island don't only show up where they're venturing out, trying to figure out something.
Yeah.
So basically, we just focus these girls only. And on some episodes, we focus on Rin, trying to appeal to Ito of her building stuff. And then we go focus on Akane and what was the other shrine girl's name? Machi.
Yeah, Machi, the bruja.
Yeah, Machi. Them trying to convince Ito in their own way, but Machi is she's dangerous.
She's very sadistic.
Yes, she is.
She does like a lot of voodoo and like a lot of like spells.
And she abused her sister.
Oh yeah, like you think like the world is not nice to Akane, or like her sister is like a huge bitch to her.
Oh yeah, and she doesn't even none of her chores. She doesn't do anything. She's like the useless older sister, relying on the younger sister to do everything.
Yeah, and Machi is actually one of my favorite characters. I really liked her character because they do a lot of interesting things with her, because she is like into like dark magic and stuff and voodoo. They introduce like a lot of like crazy stuff with her, and there was actually a very good like horror episode in the middle of the season which I really liked, like a lot, because I like horror type stories and horror like visuals, and so I thought that they really used her very well in that episode. As for like the other characters, I don't know, I didn't really feel connected to like the other characters. I never really enjoyed watching like Rin like doing her thing. I always thought she was kind of boring. Like, yeah, she's athletic, she's strong, but I never really like got into her character.
And she's one of the beautiful girls in the whole island.
The science girl, she's kind of funny, but like, I don't know. I felt like
she was more in like experimenting, trying to do things.
She's also kind of creepy too, like Machi.
Yeah, she's the creepy one.
Yeah. But I felt like a lot of the jokes were a little bit too repetitive with her, but at least with like Machi, because she does magic, you can do so much with her. But anyways, let's continue on with like the story of the season. Tell us where does this season lead up to?
So basically, the season lead up to him trying to leave the island finally after gaining accustomed of living in the island. Because throughout the whole island, we meet the four lords, we meet the animals, which at the first part of the anime we don't understand the animals. They just say wow wow, or choop choop choop, or choop choop choop.
Yeah.
Like in the middle of one of their adventures to find I forgot what they were trying to do. They were trying to find something. The animals, we were able to understand the animals, which Ito at that point was like, holy shit, I'm getting way too used to the island now. I'm understanding these weird freaking animals now. Yeah. And the whole, after that point, we understand all the animals are talking about.
Yeah, a very Dr. Dolittle type situation. Yeah, because
at certain point, the Ito throughout the life, they see girls talking to the animals and do their jobs. Yeah. But in reality, at a certain point, there was a little girl. What's her name again? Yukino. She has like a bunch of animal friends, which she talks to. Yeah. And when she was talking to them, all the animals go rah rah, and Ito just say, who are you talking to? I don't understand. I'm not following the conversation. And she just points out, I'm talking to Yin Yin or whatever she names them.
Yeah, like her bear and stuff.
Yeah, and then Ito just looked at her like, huh? And then rah, rah. And then she says, how you doing? Or something like that. And he's like, huh? You can talk to animals? You understand them? So he goes through the whole phase of him not understanding the animals and then now understanding the animals. And then at certain points of the story, he actually have a conversation with a lot of the animals to do certain jobs.
Yeah.
And also train. Because he started training at one point because of a certain samurai girl.
Mm-hmm.
She's my favorite because she a thick.
Oh my god.
She a thick. But and also Rin.
Yeah.
She a thick.
One thing about the animals though is like when we were watching this, I kept getting like an Animal Crossing vibe from this show because
you mentioned it a lot.
Yeah, because the show takes place in a village. It has like all these animals who talk. It has all these animals who talk, and they're part of the society. And it kept giving me these Animal Crossing vibes, and I actually really like the animals in this show. I think they add a lot to the show, and they make it like not seem like so dry. They add like a good they add a lot to the story and a lot to like the comedy and the dialogue. I think they do a good job. Also, one thing that I like about the show is that they include like a lot of like oni and yokai.
Yes,
like a lot of like mythological creatures. Like that one horror episode, like the whole horror episode is based around them trying to catch like a yokai.
Yes.
Like, do you remember?
Yes.
So I do like that fact that not only is it talking animals, it's like a lot of spirits and stuff. So it adds a lot to like say like the world of this island.
Oh, I forgot to mention, Ito is a science guy.
Mm-hmm.
And so anything magical, mythical, or animal that is supposed to be like well known, he just like, there's a scientific solution that explains all of this. And he just like, oh, I gotta just accept there's magic here. We're in an island of magic and creatures.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
accept it. But he's stubborn as hell. He's like, nope, cannot. No. That's not a kappa. That's a turtle.
Nah.
Oh, and also there was an episode where the animals turn into humans and humans turn into animals, and we actually see a lot of male characters for the first time ever.
Yeah, that was definitely interesting. Like, I like that stuff. I like it when shows like break sort of like their status quo for like an episode or two, and they show us what the show would be like if the things that are normally not in the show, happened. So that's pretty cool. I like it when shows do that. That's actually a good thing.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So I'm basically like finishing up. Ito just goes through his adventures, trying to fit in.
Mm-hmm.
He goes to seeing all these different girls. All the girls try to seduce him in one way or another, trying to get him to his favor, trying to give him favors, and also try to kidnap him a couple of times.
Yeah.
And he just basically lives life until he finally decides to send a message out.
Yeah.
For the first time, he finally sends out a message.
To his sister, right?
Yeah, to his sister. Because it was her birthday.
Yeah.
So he sent out a message, and then a couple of episodes later, the message comes back. And we find out that his sister got his message, went into the sea, and got lost. Just like Ito.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I should spoil this. I'm going to say this. After
Spoiler alert for the last few episodes of this anime.
After he got the message of his sister going to the sea and getting lost, she end up in her own island.
Which was a pretty good reveal.
Yeah, and her own island. And you know what kind of island that is?
Tell us, my lovely co-host.
An island full of men.
Jesus Christ. You really had to say that all the way up close to the mic?
Yes. I had to be very specific and also very serious and also very annoying at the same time.
All right. Okay.
So
assume the position.
Ready.
Assume the fucking position.
I am.
All right. Take these smacks.
Ah, Daddy. Okay.
All right.
So,
enough.
anyways, after like the big reveal of him able to finally get out of the island, he meets up with his sister halfway and said that he's going back to the island he came from of women, and he told her, "Have fun with your guys." And went back to her own island she got stuck on. And her saying, hey, big brother, wait. And everyone's like, we'll take care of her. We'll make her safe. We'll make her happy. Hey
Giggity.
ho, hey ho, hey ho. Back to the island they came from.
They're gonna run a train on her.
Yeah, so after that fact, I said certain unpleasant things, which I will keep it
Move
clean.
on.
I will keep it clean. Because
do you want to get fucking canceled? Move on already.
Okay, so after she went back and he went back, everything went back to normal.
Yeah.
And
so
they also before the episode actually ended, they introduced a new girl.
oh man, that was fucking stupid.
Yeah, I was.
They do it like in a text box, like a graphic appears on screen and it says new character. I was like, what the fuck? You're introducing a new character now, like in the last minute of the last fucking episode, you bitches.
Well, the reason why they did that is because they were trying to have a cliffhanger for people to want to watch it more, but
I feel
it failed.
But I feel also that we have to mention that like the last half of the season, there's a notable difference in terms of animation style and character design, because the last few episodes of the season don't look
the
rest of the beginning, because it's very obvious that they changed studios in between episodes. Because like in the last few episodes, you definitely see like different hairstyles and like different lighting and shading on the characters, and you also notice that the girls are more animated
differently and
they're designed in a more sexy way.
It was like good for the last couple of episodes.
Oh
I'm not gonna lie,
but
you know, good.
But you notice it like in the beginning of the show, like a lot of the girls have like skirts or robes, and you know they're at a good length. But like in the last two episodes, like they're basically like up to like their crotches.
It was good either other way. Rather.
I mean, it's just interesting because at the beginning of the season, a lot of the girls were drawn very cute, not very sexy, but they were drawn very cute. But at the end of the show, a lot of them were drawn very sexy, like with bigger breasts and like
good
thicker
animation,
asses.
Good animation jiggles.
Oh yeah, like the boobs would jiggle, the asses would jiggle. It's like goddamn, like whoever animated this shit had like a
field day for the last
good
two.
Yeah, he had a real good time drawing this shit. Yeah. Do you have any like information on why like the last episodes look so different?
Well, I don't have much of information, but I do got a little bit of it. But to me, I feel is the wrong kind of information, but it's the information I got. So the reason why they changed studio animations is because the first studio didn't see any of it going good at all, and they didn't want to finish it.
Yeah.
So they asked for another company to be able to help them finish it, just to send it off. Hopefully they will get a hook.
Yeah.
They agreed to it, but in reality they didn't really get a hook at all. Because the second company thought that if they do this and they do get the hook, they will gain more money.
Yeah.
And they saw a big good deal on their end. But they also were prepared to see the not good result as well. So they gave the first two episodes a good animation change, just to show like, hey, new company, new style.
This is what we can do.
This is what we can do, basically. But it didn't really land that much.
Yeah, because you also notice that like in the second half of this season is that a lot of the episodes are a little bit more action oriented, and like for example, Zuzu actually starts to develop feelings for Ikto. Which in the first half kind of disappointed me that they weren't going to do anything with their relationship, and it felt like it wasn't going anywhere with those two characters. But in the last like half of the season, she starts to develop feelings for him, and then the story starts to become a little bit more interesting as it goes on. Yes,
to be honest, but in reality, if you guys wanted to know more of it, it's in the manga. Manga goes a little bit more in detail.
Okay. Well, that's interesting because...
But the manga didn't last long as well because, again, the popularity wasn't there.
Yeah, because, like, here's the thing about, like, Japanese, like, anime. Unlike American television, where, like, a show goes on and on and on because of the ratings, in Japan, a show not only has to do good in the ratings, it has to sell a lot of merch and has to sell a lot of manga volumes. Because in Japan, manga is more important than television. Because like essentially the anime adaptation is a commercial for the manga.
Oh, for a good example, if you guys don't understand what he's trying to explain, do you guys know Tomo-chan is a girl?
I don't, but explain.
So it's basically what he's trying to explain. Tomo-chan is a girl. Came from a manga first. Has a 869 chapters in, and it finally became an anime. So basically, what he explained is basically what I'm explaining, dumber down. Manga must be good, must be popular.
Exactly, yeah.
For it to become an anime.
And the anime sort of acts as a commercial because it's going to want people to buy more manga and more, and also like whenever they release like t-shirts, toys, or like when the characters appear like on cereal boxes or stuff like that, or like on candy, people are going to want to buy that merchandise.
Exactly.
And so it's a combination of all of them because the money that they get to make the show comes from like not only the TV station, it comes from like the company who makes the manga, and then also the companies who make like the products, the merch. So it has to be successful on 3 parts. And so this show, like again, we mentioned before, this show came out in the era of the big 3, Bleach, Naruto, and One Piece. And each one of those and like those big 3, they basically dominated anime for like a long time. Not only in Japan, but also in the United States. Like this show doesn't even have an English dub. We watched this show subtitled. Like if you look it up there, like Funimation, nobody did a dub for this.
Nope, at all.
Yeah, so no. So this is like one of those like animes that kind of just like got lost in the shuffle, so to speak.
And only a few handful knows of it.
Exactly.
Which I am one of the handfuls.
It is kind of like one of those where like hardcore anime watchers like know the show, and like your casual fan or like a normie wouldn't know of this. Like normies would know like what Dragon Ball Z or what Pokemon is because like those fucking shows appear on the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade.
Yeah,
but a normie would not know what this show is. And so I guess like that's one of the reasons why it failed. Also, I have another reason why it didn't go so far as it did, because the show really didn't have like a solid, interesting story. It had a good premise. It had a good premise to start off with, but I felt like the characters were very weak, and I felt like they really should have focused on that romance like first before they started doing like all the crazy antics. That way it hooks people in, because a romance is a good way to hook in audiences to your show or movie.
Actually, I can tell because I really love romance animes and mangas, and I've been reading a lot of them. So it does really get a hook. It really works.
Or if they
because
didn't,
the relationship starts off bad, but later on of them liking each other little by little because of what they do to each other, what they help each other do, it really hooks them. Like, oh my god, that's so cute. She's starting to like him. Whoa, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, because honestly, it was really hard for me to get through this one season of anime because I just found a lot of the middle episodes so fucking boring, man. There was a few shining spots throughout the season, but I felt like it just needed to be more consistent. Like not every episode needs to be a banger, but like there has to be something in it for me to like it. Like good comedy or maybe good action or like a decently told story, which I didn't feel like I always got throughout the season. That's like my biggest problem with the show.
Yeah, I had a feeling that he wasn't gonna really like it. But it was an anime that I wanted to spread out because it was one of the animes that I liked when I started watching anime as a little weeblet.
Well, I will say this. It wasn't annoying as like some animes, or like it wasn't so like offensive. It just didn't really hit the mark for me.
Which I understand, but my other anime choice will be good enough for you. Hopefully.
Maybe. We'll see, definitely.
Oh yeah, we definitely will see.
Okay then. All right. Any like final thoughts on the series?
This anime. Oh, I have a lot, but I'm just gonna short it down.
Well, tell it. Well, let us know. What do you feel about this show?
This anime was one of the top 30 animes that I started watching my first time, This anime was my 28th anime that I watched and loved. And I have 30 anime that I watched and loved when I was a weeblet. And there's so many of them out there that I watched over the years that became part of the 30 that it's just like a very good portion in my soul that it has a part of it. That this anime here has a part of it in my soul. It's not very big, but it's one of the animes that really I remembered. And when we started this podcast, I literally thought of this anime specifically to have it in, not early, but later on, like in the beginning of our show. And I really love this anime so much because it's an anime that hasn't been given so much love because it had potential in the half of the anime. It had potential in the halfway mark. And I thought if they would have continued on, it could have gone better and it could have been one of the greatest anime of all time for that year.
It definitely had a lot of potential to be great.
Yes, it did, which I really loved. It that is like still out there. People can watch it whatever time. But for me, who have seen it when it first came out at 2007, I didn't watch it when it first came out, but I watched it 2 years later.
Yeah.
So at 2009 is when I was finally becoming a weeblet, starting watching more anime. This was one of the 30 choices of anime that I found in the internet, and I fell in love with it so much that because it had potential, it didn't continue on, which I was sad because I wanted a season 2 because it had potential in it. But I understand why I had to not continue because
the story needed to go somewhere. I felt like if the story went somewhere, people would gravitate more
after
to
watching it the second time, now with more knowledge of after watching like 300 plus anime, it needed a story. It needed to be worked on more.
Yeah.
To be able to be the hook. But after watching it the first time, I thought it was a great anime. It was really good. I was happy watching it, and then rewatching it again years later, I was like, I remember loving this anime so much, but now rewatching it, it really needed work. But it still had a very good spot in my heart.
Yeah, definitely. Like I definitely feel the same way with some movies and some TV shows that I revisit. Because not like a lot of the movies that I like, not every one of them is like a big success. Some of them are like big like bombs, like they didn't do well like in the box office or something like that. Like Big Trouble in Little China, Scott Pilgrim, like a lot of those, they didn't really connect with audiences when they first came out, but now they're more popular than ever. But I definitely do see like the flaws in both those movies. And and like the way that you're describing it, this is kind of like your comfort show almost. Like you sort of watch it to like, feel like, like a warm fuzzy feeling.
Not gonna lie, after finding out that this anime wasn't no longer gonna continue on, I did watch this anime 30 times in different moments of my life, going through middle school and high school, and stopped watching it when I was almost going out of high school and going to working. I stopped watching it. And then when we started doing this podcast, this anime popped into my head. And it's like, let's head back to memory road. To the anime that I watched over and over and over and over again. Because I loved it so much.
Well, just you wait. Our next episode's going to be kind of like my like little revenge. It's going to be something that I watched excessively when I was a teenager.
Oh no.
But anyways, but let's continue on with this. So definitely I will say that this show has a lot to like. One of the big things that I do like is some of the comedy. Some of the comedy really works well. And not all of the characters, but I do like the two sisters, Machi and her sister. I think add a lot of good comedy to the show. The character designs are actually very nostalgic for me. Like, again, it just reminds me of a time of anime that isn't like that art style isn't used anymore. It just reminds me of a time, being in like an elementary school, waking up on Saturday mornings, watching like Beyblade or Yu-Gi-Oh! and then just loving that sort of art style. But the show has like a lot to love. But some people, depending on what you want out of a story, that's where I think it's going to stop you. Because for me, when I look for a story, I look for something for me to grab onto. And this one just didn't have anything for me to grab onto.
Don't worry,
as much.
Future animes will have something that he will grab into and he will love it.
But yeah, but the show really isn't that bad. If I were to give it a rating, I'd probably give it maybe like a 6 out of 10. Because, it's not, it really doesn't like capture my imagination. It doesn't really want me to come back to it like every once in a while. But, it was a good show for what it was. The animation was pretty decent to great. But I don't know. This one just didn't get me. This one didn't catch me. Anyways, anything else that you want to add about the show before we end it?
If you guys want to watch, go ahead and watch it. Go ahead and watch it with an open mind.
Yeah.
Because like I said, this anime came out at 2007, and I watched it 2 years after the anime was out when I was beginning to become a weeblet.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a weeblet. So if you guys want to watch old animes that really like pulls your heart, makes you laugh, goes like, what the heck is going on here? This is the anime for you. It's really like that really comfort anime to just make you laugh.
Mm-hmm.
And just like, what the hell are you doing? Because rewatching this, a lot of memories of me watching this late at night or in the morning or whenever I was doing, I loved watching this anime so much that it really, to the point of me rewatching it again after years of not rewatching it, it really brought nostalgia to me, and it really brought like, wow, I'm back to my like when I was a kid again, when I was beginning to watch anime. Like this was the anime that continue me to continue watching anime.
Yeah.
It's just like the High School DxD. High School DxD was part of the big 30 animes that I started continue watching over and over again.
Well, I know why you like that show.
Oh yeah, for that one particular reason. That was when I was exploring different genres.
All right.
So yeah, if you guys want to go ahead and watch something that just makes you laugh and question what the hell is going on, this is the anime for you. It's really good. And I wished it continued on because they were finally getting the story set in the half of the episode of the anime. It should have. I wished it would have continued, but it's how it is, and I'm happy how it ended.
At least I can say that the ending. I was not dissatisfied with the ending. I felt like it was probably like the best way to end it.
Yeah.
Because why else would they end it the way that they ended it?
Yeah, so for me, if I'm going to give it a rating,
mm-hmm.
I will give it, if it was my pass up, I'll give it 10 out of 10, but after rewatching it, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Because the nostalgia was there, me rewatching it, an anime that I watch all the time, is part of it as well, and just me rewatching again to remember the memories, it's all there. But when I was rewatching it as well, it really includes my rating. Is like all of the jokes and everything made me feel like didn't make me laugh no more because I remember all of it.
Yeah, that's kind of like the problem with like comedies. It's like when you rewatch a comedy so often, the jokes aren't as funny as they are. Because that's why sometimes, like for me, like comedies that I like say like Ghostbusters or The Mask or Dumb and Dumber, I rewatch those because I actually like the story, like in it. Like I like the story and I like the characters and I like watching the characters, even though I've heard the jokes so many times. And then comedies where I don't like the story, like they just seem boring to me. Like that's kind of like the problem with like comedies. But anyways, is that your final thoughts on this show?
Yes, those are my final thoughts. It really made me happy to rewatch this again. This anime was really my favorite animes when I was a weeblet, and I'm happy I was able to show this to the world for everyone to see, for you guys to watch it in your own time.
Yeah. So I actually did look up on Google where you can actually watch it for free. So there's a streaming service called Pluto TV.
Oh, yeah.
And you can watch it there for free. So if you are interested and you don't want to like, feel bad because you paid like another service, watch it for free on there. You'll probably watch a ton of ads, but hey, what the heck, it's free.
Yep.
So with that being said, let's announce our next episode.
What is our next episode?
Our next episode is going to be another double feature. This is going to be our first double feature since Kill Bill 1 and 2.
Oh, so
our next episode is going to be a double feature of the So Bad It's Good cult classic from 2003.
Oh no.
The Room plus the movie that's based on the making of The Room, The Disaster Artist. From 2017, starring James Franco and Seth Rogen and his brother Dave Franco.
Oh no, guys, I'm so sorry. There's no anime in this. There's no anime women. Not the thick thighs.
Speaking of,
never mind. There's thick thighs. His face revealed it all. There's thick thighs in this. Oh, the world has been saved. Thickness will save lives.
Have you ever seen The Room before?
No, I have not, so I'm surprised.
Do you know what The Room is?
A room.
But the movie The Room.
Yeah, it's about a room.
Not really, but...
we'll find out when we watch it.
Oh, man, I'm so fucking excited because, oh my God, because this is kind of like... oh, my, okay, I'm too excited.
Yeah, don't explain anything. So
actually, I'm not going to mention anything because I want you to be surprised.
All right. I'm waiting for it.
Okay,
so if you guys enjoyed this episode, please consider leaving a like and subscribe and tell your friends about us. We're hilarious sometimes. Maybe, I don't know if you care.
All right. Make sure to follow us on our social medias. We have a Instagram, TikTok, Reddit. We're also on Twitter and Letterboxd. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on any of the podcasting platforms such as Apple Music, Spotify, and all those. Wherever.
If you don't have time to watch us visually, you can hear us vocally while you're doing your everything things. When you're just doing laundry, doing things, cooking, doing other things, cleaning.
Yeah.
You can just have us on the side while listening to us.
And if you want to support us, we also have a Patreon. For $3 a month, you can get new episodes early.
And exclusive content as well.
And maybe some merch down the line.
Maybe, but we gotta see how it plays out, my favorite people.
Okay, so if you if you want to support us, just hit the like button and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.